If artificial intelligence can, you know, instantly scan thousands of CVs and map an entire global market in just seconds, why is hiring the top 1% of sales talent harder than it has ever been? I mean, for the sales leaders, the hiring managers, and the executives listening to this right now, I know you feel that pain. You have more sophisticated tools at your disposal today than at any point in corporate history,
Right,
right?
absolutely.
You have the dashboards, the algorithms, predictive analytics, yet building a world-class revenue-generating sales team still feels incredibly elusive. It's like we have the best maps in the world, but we're still getting completely lost in the woods.
Yeah, it really is the great paradox of modern business. We are swimming in infinite data, but we're still somehow missing the target on human capital.
Right.
We've optimized the technology, sure, but the actual outcome, putting the absolute best person in the right seat to drive revenue, that hasn't gotten any easy. In fact, I'd argue the noise has made it harder.
Okay, let's unpack this because this isn't just another generic tech trend piece we're looking at. Today's deep dive is on a really fascinating article by Nathan Davis over at the Sales Experts. It's called The Future of Recruitment Isn't AI or Humans, It's Both.
It's a great read.
Yeah, and our mission today is to figure out exactly how executive teams need to fundamentally rewire their approach to building their revenue engines. We're going to look at what machines are actually doing better than us, where they completely fail, and what the ultimate winning formula looks like for the next decade of sales success.
And to really grasp the magnitude of what's happening right now, you sort of have to look at the baseline. Historically, recruitment, and particularly sales recruitment, has always been viewed entirely as a people business.
Right, lots of handshakes.
Exactly. Handshakes, hushed conversations over coffee, relationship building, and, a veteran recruiter's black book of industry contacts.
Yeah.
And those human elements, they still matter immensely. But AI is fundamentally disrupting the mechanical foundation of how that work gets done. It's shifting the tectonic plates beneath the whole industry.
Let's break down those mechanics. Because when you step back, the recruitment process basically has three broad stages, right? First, you have identifying potential candidates. Second, evaluating if they're actually suitable for the specific role. And third, navigating the complex hiring process like interviews, offers, and onboarding.
Yeah, that's the standard flow.
Right. And what Davis argues here is that AI hasn't just improved that first stage of identifying candidates. It has completely conquered it.
Oh, it has entirely taken it over. I mean, think about how finding talent used to work, even just 5 or 10 years ago. It was an incredibly labor-intensive manual grind.
The old Boolean searches.
Yes. Recruiters would spend 40 hours a week running these Boolean searches on databases. For anyone who hasn't lived in that world, it's just using rigid modifiers like ND and OR and not to filter through massive lists of resumes.
It sounds painful.
It was. You'd search for sales and software and New York, and then you'd manually scroll through hundreds of LinkedIn profiles, tapping into personal networks, cold calling, just to figure out who was even out there. It was slow, tedious, and highly prone to human error.
It sounds like recruiters used to have to dig for treasure by hand with a little plastic shovel, just hoping you stumble across the right chest.
Exactly. But today, artificial intelligence can process vast amounts of structured information with a level of speed and precision that a human simply cannot match. It doesn't just look for rigid keywords anymore.
Right.
It actually understands semantic context.
So I get that AI is fast, but when you say it processes vast amounts of structured information, it can sound a bit, I don't know, abstract. Are we just talking about a really fast Control-F search on a million resumes, or is it doing something deeper?
Oh, it's significantly deeper. In the time it takes you to blink, AI is analyzing thousands of candidate profiles. It's instantly identifying transferable skills that a human might completely overlook just because the job titles don't perfectly align.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It is comparing highly complex job specifications against massive global talent pools. It's highlighting real-time market trends, producing incredibly accurate salary benchmarks based on live data, and generating comprehensive talent maps. What used to take an entire team of junior recruiters 3 weeks of grinding administrative work is now being completed in like 4 minutes.
So the little plastic shovel is gone, and AI is essentially a giant satellite-powered metal detector that instantly points to exactly where the gold is buried. You don't have to guess anymore.
Exactly.
The machine just surfaces candidates who might never have appeared through traditional methods. But hold on, I have to push back here.
Go ahead.
If AI is this powerful, if it can instantly map an entire market and hand me a perfectly curated shortlist of the exact people who match my job description, Doesn't that essentially eliminate the need for human recruiters altogether? I mean, if the software gives me the list, why am I paying a recruitment firm?
This raises an important question, and honestly, it's the exact trap that a lot of businesses are falling into right now.
Yeah.
They are equating the act of finding a candidate with the art of recruiting a candidate.
Ah,
Yeah.
right.
AI doesn't eliminate recruiters. It completely changes where they create value. Because the machine is now handling the heavy lifting of processing structured data, recruitment is shifting away from being a low-level administrative task and is evolving into a high-level intelligence business.
Which makes total sense because I imagine finding the people was never actually the most critical part of the job. It was just the most time-consuming part.
That's the perfect way to frame it. Finding them is just the baseline requirement to play the game. Choosing the right one and then actually convincing them to join your company. That is the actual challenge. And this is where the current conversation around AI and hiring completely misses the reality of human behavior.
Let's dig into that gap between the data and human reality. Because at the end of the day, a CV is just a piece of paper that tells you where someone sat at a desk for a few years, right?
Pretty much.
And a LinkedIn profile mostly just tells you who they clicked connect with. AI is undeniably brilliant at comparing years of experience and matching keywords, but none of that hard data fully explains whether someone is going to actually thrive in the chaos of your specific business.
Because think about the extreme nuances of a high-performing sales environment. AI cannot look at a matched keyword for B2B sales and tell you, will this person fit your highly specific, maybe slightly aggressive company culture?
Yeah, exactly.
Can they genuinely build deep, lasting trust with your most cynical customers? How are they going to respond mentally when they miss their targets for 2 consecutive months?
Or when the company's strategic priorities suddenly pivot in Q3 and their entire product line changes.
Exactly. Can they navigate complex office politics and influence multiple internal stakeholders to get a deal over the line?
Okay, let's pressure test this with a hypothetical scenario because I
Yeah.
really want to isolate this blind spot. Let's say my AI screening tool flags a salesperson. The dashboard lights up green. It tells me this candidate has consistently hit 150% of their sales quota for the last 3 years at a major software company.
Okay, a top performer on paper.
Right. I'm staring at hard, undeniable mathematical data that says this person is a certified winner. It's really hard for a hiring manager to ignore that data just because of a recruiter's vibe check. So what is the AI actually missing there?
What's fascinating here is that the artificial intelligence can perfectly identify the outcome, the 150% to target, but it cannot fully determine why that candidate succeeded. And in the world of sales, the why is absolutely everything.
Because hitting quota at company A does not guarantee hitting quota at company B.
Not at all. Let's look at your hypothetical candidate. The AI sees a winner, but an experienced human evaluator has to ask the critical questions that the data simply cannot answer. Did that candidate inherit an exceptional, already lucrative territory from a predecessor who did all the hard work?
Oh, that happens all the time.
Right. Or did they have a massive marketing machine feeding them a strong, constant, inbound lead flow? Were they essentially just an order taker, upselling software licenses into existing, highly satisfied enterprise accounts?
If they were working at a massive tech monopoly where the product essentially sells itself, hitting 150% of quota is vastly different than hitting 150% at some no-name startup.
Exactly. What if your company is that no-name startup? You don't need an order taker. You need a street fighter.
Yeah.
You need someone who possesses the gritty commercial behaviors and emotional intelligence to build a pipeline from absolute scratch in a hostile environment with zero brand recognition. The AI gives both the order taker and the street fighter a 99% match score because they both hit quota and have the right job titles.
That is wild.
Yeah, only the human evaluator can uncover the context behind the numbers.
And those are questions of complex human judgment, not raw data.
And that is why human judgment remains one of the absolute most valuable skills an experienced recruitment partner brings to the table. Assessing context, emotional intelligence, resilience, commercial understanding, these are exclusively human domains. A machine can't test for grit.
Which means the day-to-day role of a top-tier recruiter is fundamentally transforming. I mean, if they are no longer spending 40 hours a week trapped in database Boolean searches, what does their day actually look like now?
They're acting as high-level consultants and advisors. Freed from that administrative grind, the absolute best recruiters are investing all of their time in areas that create massive tangible value for the client.
Like,
They are sitting down with executives to deeply understand the company's commercial objectives. They're conducting heavy, structured assessments for behavioral and cultural fit. They're advising on the overarching hiring strategy, designing intricate interview processes, managing incredibly complex offer negotiations, and building long-term talent pipelines for future growth.
here's where it gets really interesting. It reminds me of the difference between paying someone to buy groceries for you versus hiring a master chef to cater a flawless dinner party.
I love that analogy.
Right. When you pay an app for grocery delivery, you're just paying for an activity, a highly specific transactional task. But when you hire the master chef, you aren't paying them for the errand of driving to the market and carrying heavy bags of flour. You're paying them because they know which specific flour will make the pasta perfect for the specific dinner guest.
Uh,
They know how the acidity of the tomatoes pairs with the wine. You are paying for the final result, the outcome. You want a flawless dinner party. And Davis points out that executive clients are finally realizing they no longer want to pay for administrative activities like CV sourcing.
They don't want to pay for the grocery run anymore. They want a partner who can solve a complex hiring problem from beginning to end. They are buying an outcome, a high-performing sales team.
Right.
They want a partner to help define the role, map the market using AI, identify the hidden talent, rigorously assess their suitability, navigate the candidates through the interviews, manage the delicate offer stage, and ensure they actually onboard successfully.
And this is exactly where the sales experts outline their specific approach in the article. Because they aren't rejecting AI, they are leaning heavily into this hybrid model.
Yes, their entire philosophy is built on the premise that technology should support human expertise, never replace it. At the sales experts, they view AI as the ultimate force multiplier.
A force multiplier, I like that.
Yeah, they combine that raw technological speed with highly structured human evaluation frameworks. The text highlights a couple of their proprietary methodologies, specifically the 5-stage sales team scaling system and the sales hunter intelligence evaluation.
Let's actually break those down, because throwing around methodology names is easy, but how do they actually work in practice? If the AI is doing the grocery shopping, how do these human frameworks actually cook the meal?
Well, let's look at the sales hunter intelligence evaluation as an example. When the AI surfaces a candidate who looks perfect on paper, this evaluation is how the human experts test for that Street Fighter mentality we talked about earlier.
Okay, how do they do that?
It's not just asking, are you a hard worker? Everyone says yes to that. It involves behavioral interviewing techniques and psychological stress testing. A human consultant might ask the candidate to walk step by step through a massive deal they recently
Oh,
lost.
wow.
They are listening to see if the candidate takes extreme ownership and accountability for the loss, or if they immediately blame the product, the marketing team, or the economy.
Oh, that is brilliant. A machine can't detect a victim mentality in a resume.
Precisely. And it pairs with their 5-stage sales team scaling system. Instead of just taking a job description and blasting it out to the market, this system structures the entire engagement.
From the very beginning.
Right. Stage 1 might involve deep commercial alignment, sitting with the CEO to understand that the goal isn't just hire a sales rep, but rather we need to break into the healthcare vertical by Q4. Then stage 2 is deploying the AI for market mapping. Stage 3 is the hunter evaluation we just discussed.
Got it.
Stage 4 aligns cultural integration, and Stage 5 focuses on retention and onboarding. It is a comprehensive, outcome-driven system.
So the AI builds the incredibly detailed map in seconds, but the human expertise uses these frameworks to actually navigate the treacherous terrain. It ensures you aren't just getting fast results, you're getting effective, sustainable hires who actually stick around and drive revenue.
That's the critical distinction. Fast is absolutely useless if it's wrong.
So knowing that executives now demand outcomes, and that this hybrid approach, AI speed plus human judgment, is clearly the superior model, what does this mean for the future of the industry? If you're looking at the landscape of recruitment agencies over the next decade, who actually survives and wins?
The agencies that thrive over the next 10 years will not necessarily be the biggest ones.
Hmm?
The massive legacy recruitment firms that still rely purely on volume, Boiler rooms of junior recruiters and human brute force sourcing are going to struggle immensely.
Because that's all being automated.
Exactly. Their entire value proposition is being automated. The winners will be the agile firms that perfectly integrate these dual forces. They will combine AI-driven market intelligence with deep, specialized sector expertise, rigorous hiring methodologies, and elite human judgment.
And that ultimate combination results in a vastly superior experience for both the candidate and the client. Because let's be honest, nobody likes a clunky, disjointed hiring process. Top talent certainly won't tolerate it.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It creates a seamless process that is simultaneously faster because of the technology and far more effective and empathetic because of the human insight.
So what does this all mean for you? If you are a sales leader, a hiring manager, or an executive listening to this right now, and you are under pressure to scale your revenue team this quarter, how should this fundamentally change your standards for the recruitment partners you choose to work with?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it means you have to drastically shift your expectations. You must recognize that a smarter, faster hiring process relies on a core truth. While technology can perfectly identify where the talent is hiding, people still hire people.
Yeah.
You need to demand a partner who understands that context, empathy, and commercial judgment cannot be outsourced to an algorithm.
You just cannot be paying a premium for someone to hand you a stack of resumes anymore. You can buy software off the shelf to do that for a fraction of the cost. You should be partnering with specialized consultants who deliver a fully solved hiring problem.
That is the new baseline for executive hiring.
Okay, let's distill all of this down into the core actionable takeaways for our listeners today. Based on the insights from Nathan Davis and the deep dive into the sales experts' methodologies, here is what you need to start doing differently tomorrow. Number one, stop paying for sourcing activities. Your mindset as a leader needs to shift from buying administrative tasks to demanding end-to-end hiring outcomes.
That's social.
And number two, when you are evaluating top-performing sales candidates, you must always look past the surface data. Do not just blindly trust the quota attainment on their CV. Interrogate why they succeeded. Was it the inherited territory, the massive inbound lead flow, or was it their actual gritty commercial behavior?
I guarantee that implementing those two shifts alone will radically improve the caliber of talent you bring into your organization and save you from incredibly costly mishires.
And here is a final piece of advice. Before you even commit a single dollar to your next search, you need to deeply define the role, the specific success profile, and the overarching hiring strategy required to actually attract and secure the top 1% of sales talent.
It takes prep work.
Right. And if you want to dive deeper into how to structure that outcome-focused process, or you want to see what a true hybrid recruitment partner actually looks like in action, visit thesalesexperts.com. Furthermore, if you are an executive looking for weekly, high-level insights on sales success, leadership, and scaling revenue growth, you should absolutely join the 2,000-plus subscribers of the Predictable Sales Growth newsletter on LinkedIn. It is packed with actionable value for anyone responsible for driving top-line revenue.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to mull over, building on everything we've discussed today.
Let's hear it.
If artificial intelligence continues to evolve at this breakneck pace and eventually completely levels the playing field, meaning that every single company, including your fiercest competitors, can instantly identify and contact the exact same top-tier talent in seconds, will your company's internal culture, your leadership style, and your onboarding process become the only true competitive advantages you have left to actually win them over?
Wow, that is a brilliant question. When the data is completely democratized and everyone has the exact same map, the human element is all that remains to win the talent war. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Take a hard look at your hiring process this week, and we'll see you next time as we continue to unpack the insights you need to stay ahead.